Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Open beta.
Dev Diary 226 has dropped. We don't have much information on concrete changes for the next update coming, that's 3.2, but we do have a whole host of information about the structural changes around the Custodian team and open betas for major changes. Get ready, we might be getting our hands on patches a little earlier from now on. A few comments about feedback and the community from this new recent LEM update, as well as some, I would say, reasonably big news. They, as always, want to change the AI, but the next update, it sounds like it's going to have a major focus on AI overhaul. Let's dive in and find out what on earth is going on. If you enjoy this video, please displace that like button. There are some thoughts that they've had about the Custodian initiative, but to be quite frank from reading it, it's mainly thoughts about engagement with the community. So basically what they've said here is that, the Custodian initiative is very new. They've done a lot of new things at once, and in combination with a lot of internal changes at Paradox, they are still learning and adapting. One goal that they haven't managed to find a solution for yet is a way to better work with the community, with everyone in the community. So they have said they really like the feedback from the community. They found it fun and constructive. Maybe they've watched some great videos about some of the interesting things that have happened with the LEM update. I don't know. But they really appreciate their feedback, the feedback they've had from us. And they want to make the process more effective, apparently, for us, the community. That sounds really positive. I can't complain there. An example they've got in the Dev Diary is thinking about how to have more public-facing bug tracking, where we could potentially vote for the issues which we want to have fixed. Now, that would be quite cool. A democratization of the kind of the issues that we see as a community and where we think their resources could go. That sounds awesome. I, for one, definitely think there are some areas, if I had the option to vote between which areas are important, I think that might be some changes made there that are not the same changes the Custodian team would have implemented without my feedback and the feedback of other members of our community. They have stressed that they don't have any concrete plans at the moment, but they really wanted to mention this as they wanted us to know that they are very interested in figuring out how to make better use of all of the community engagement and feedback that they have been getting. And they're basically saying, if you've got any thoughts, let them know. They're interested in hearing if you have ideas on how you could organize yourselves. Well, that's a bit interesting. So they want us to present them with ideas how they could, or we could be organized to give them better feedback. Okay, so basically it somewhat to me here sounds like they're saying that we should think of great ideas for how to present this feedback to them. I don't know how that's going to go. Please jump onto the forum and let them know what you think if you have any thoughts there. And they've stressed again that the primary ways they have with interacting with everyone is the forums, Reddit, and Discord. And if you aren't a member of the Stellaris online Discord, I'm going to pop a link down in the description. Jump in and join it. They've also pulled back the curtain a little bit, so to speak, and they're going to give us a sneak peek on the schedule for future updates. And this is something they have talked about before, but they are being very concrete in here, I would say, in terms of where they plan to deliver. Yes, of course, there may be delays, things might not happen in this time frame, but this is their intention. So the first thing, as they've said before, is they want to release a free update every 3 months. Sometimes this will be released together with a new DLC. The next update is scheduled for late November, so that is in only about 2 months now from where we are at the moment, though I suspect it could end up being pushed back a little bit. These things generally do get pushed back. So that would then mean that we wouldn't be expecting a major DLC to come out in November, I would think, because they're not talking about it. They've said in the November 3.2 update, their strategy will be much less ambitious than the LEM update, and they're going to focus on safe improvements. Going forwards, they think they might alternate between what they call safe changes and spicy changes.
That's a spicy meatball!
Even if they aim to make 3.2 a bit safer, there will still be some interesting changes that we can look forward to. Well, I hope so. I hope they're not just bringing us some gruel that basically is very boring, to be quite honest. What would be the point then? But what they're mainly looking at is significant improvements for the AI. Now, there are mods out there. For instance, a big one that springs to mind here is StarNet, which really do change the AI, changes the abilities the AI have in terms of economic development, and basically puts them on a par with some very competitive players. Now, maybe they're going to be taking some elements from mods out there like StarNet and putting those into the base game. I can't see that as being a problem. Maybe they're doing some other internal original changes to it. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and find out more. And they have said they're going to talk more about these AI changes and improvements in detail next week and in the coming weeks after that. After 3.2, they aim to release 3.3. I'm shocked at the fact they've gone from 2 to 3 there. Big stuff. But anyway, the update for 3.3, they've said that will be a little bit more spicy.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball!
Among other things, the Unity and Empire Sprawl rework, which was mentioned quite a while ago in Dev Diary 215, that is likely to be finished and tested by then. So Empire Sprawl is going to die in the next 6 months, according to the Dev Diary they have released today. That's big news, and I for one welcome the end of Empire Sprawl, to be quite frank, or at least a rework there. I'm not quite sure yet on how they're going to fit Unity into it, if this is going to be a positive thing overall by reworking it in this way. But I do think we need to find a way of coming back to tall playstyles being viable, because at the moment, any playstyle which is tall, if you were to simply do it more and expand more, it's better. So yes, you can play things in a tall way, but if you just play tall as well as wide, if that makes sense to anybody, please comment down below if you know if you understand anything I'm saying here. But if you play tall as well as wide, you will do much better than just playing tall. An example of this, for instance, let's say you have you're playing as some sort of void dweller based species. Well, you might not want to expand to lots of systems, but you're going to want to build as many habitats as possible, because more habitats means more pops, and more pops is better. So wider is always better at the moment, because we can just use the administrative building and bureaucrat jobs to offset Empire Sprawl and completely ignore it. Now, this is a big one here, what they're going to be doing, and they have said that given the spiciness,
Mamma mia, that's some spicy... Got spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry.
of the changes, they are looking at the possibility of an open beta to help things go as smoothly as possible. Yes, there were just a couple of hiccups with the rollout of LEM, just a few exploitable things that had to be fixed, and it could have been better if certain members of the community were given more access earlier. They could have possibly highlighted some of these things. I think this is going to be quite interesting. But when is this open beta coming? Actually, more importantly, before that, have we had open betas before? Yes. So you may remember back in the past, I'll go to the most recent one, back after the release of Nemesis, 3.02 was out, and then they had an open beta for 3.03. And that open beta lasted a few weeks before they pushed that patch live, and we were all playing in the Dick Update 3.03. But what they've never done is they've never given an open beta for major changes for DLC content. I can't see this being a bad thing. Yes, maybe it will spoil the surprise of exactly what will happen, but this will mean that they are going to get many more hours of testing on it. The QAs are going to get much easier jobs here, hopefully, and we're going to get a more polished product at the end of it. Plus, we can also play the update earlier. I mean, that can always be cool. When is this open beta coming, though? They don't think it's going to be here for 3.2. So they're not talking about bringing it in with the safe update. They're talking about bringing it in with the spicy update 3.3. And they do want us to keep in mind that the Custodian initiative is still very much in its infancy. Things are prone to change. We apparently need to be patient with what we expect from future updates. And they hope that together we'll all be able to make Stellaris even more awesome. Now, I think almost everything here sounds good in the dev diary today. The only issue I can see here is a little bit earlier on when they mentioned that they kind of want the community to figure out how it is that we're going to be kind of structuring the feedback for them. I really don't think the burden there is on the community. I think that burden really could and should lie with Paradox to figure out how they want us to give them the right feedback, or the feedback that we have for improvements. But overall, if we're able to influence, we as the community are able to influence the way that changes are made in the future, we can hopefully direct this Custodian team to make the changes that we want to see. And I don't necessarily mean that we're going to spoil their artistic vision here. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean that we're going to be able to say, hey, look, planetary combat. Everyone wants to see a bit of a rework there. Is there anything we can do? Can we have a discussion? You know, if that's something we all want, which I know a lot of people do want. If you've got anything else you want, please comment down below. Maybe there are other things too that you feel are a big problem. But overall, there are some changes we'd all like to see. And this is definitely very positive.